So I was having a conversation with one of my friends today about work, life, the difference that I've observed since moving from Philadelphia to Ohio, how my work life has changed, how my friends have changed, how my circumstances in general seem altogether different, and honestly really exciting. And I have a bad habit of over-explaining kind of the things that I enjoy doing, mainly because I'm so excited about them, I think, but also because I like telling people the things that I enjoy and that I'm passionate about to hopefully show them that there are things to be passionate about. There are things worth in this life to actually enjoy. So, he was talking about his job as a dentist. He was talking about, and I was telling him what my job was like, our work hours, the things that we do outside of work, whether or not we're satisfied. And this concept of rat race came up. And I remember I was saying, wow, you found yourself in the rat race. And the reason was that he was complaining that he would go to work and then he would come home and he'd be really tired and he wouldn't really have all that exciting of after work life. He's had a girlfriend for many years. He's living with his family currently, just got out of school, so it makes a lot of sense. But he moved back to his old town. Now, moving back to my old town is not quite the same as most people moving back to their old town, because most people have spent a lot of time in their life in their old town, meaning there's a significant amount of baggage that comes with them spending time there, meaning maybe old relationships, old friends, uncles, aunts, relatives, whatever it may be. All of these things have an effect on us because, well, we're human, right? And we care about what people think, and we care about whether or not we're being loved in the right way, and whether or not we have relationships that matter to us. And oftentimes, growing up, we're not all that great at actually creating these things because, well, we're still learning, right? We're still trying to figure stuff out, and we mess up a lot. And people knowing the things that we messed up about, people knowing our history, us knowing their history, can make it so that the interaction can be monotonous with those people. The conversations can seem to have the same vibe, the same subject matter even. So he was saying that, he's not really been hanging out with too many people. He's kind of socialized here and there, but nothing all too exciting outside of, doing the job, doing the dentistry. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what this rat race concept is and why so many of us find our way there. It starts, obviously, by our education system and how we grow up. People around us tell us that get a good job, sit down, put your head down, and go forth. And your hobbies and stuff, all of this stuff that doesn't make you money, forget about it. The stuff that gets you excited about life, forget about it. And most of the time, people tell us this out of fear. They tell us this because, well, they assume that the way that they led their life is a good way to lead a life because they're there. You're asking them for advice. They're in a position to give it, so be it. It must be a rational way to conduct oneself. My argument is that it's a very easy way to conduct oneself. My mom used to tell us a poem when we were little that it was actually by Alam Iqbal, who was a philosopher that ended up being essential in Pakistan's division from India and kind of becoming an independent nation of independent thinkers and having intellectual and spiritual prowess, ideally. Essentially, the poem goes like this: you are not the pigeons that sit at gumbats, is like a grave, I believe. You're not those pigeons. You are a falcon that flies above the mountains. And this was Alam Iqbal's way of telling his people, the Pakistanis at the time, the Muslims that were suffering, that rise to your heights, rise to your greatness, rise to the occasion, because it is in your nature to do this. It is in your nature to have wings and to be aspiring to greater the heights in life. And I think this is kind of an important concept for me because this has been repeated so many times, because my mom was so kind to tell us these incredibly empowering things growing up. You know, I feel that it's in my nature to aspire to great heights, to be a great person as best I can. Now, why do I say this? Because our conception of ourselves matters a lot. And excuse me, I'm cooking some salmon. Came to Ohio, hadn't cooked a single meal for my mom, so I was like, you know what? It's time to step up here. The reason that I talk about this concept is because the conception that we have of ourselves, the story that we tell ourselves, and you'll see TED Talks about this, you'll see inspirational speakers, everyone that's achieved really anything in life will tell you that this is a fundamental aspect of how they got where they wanted to go in life. And the reason is because we are constantly in our own head, right? The thoughts, the way that we approach life, altogether, it comes down to a philosophy. It comes down to a belief in ourselves, in our ability to do the things that we say we can do, and to think beautiful thoughts, to make our life really just the nuances of it beautiful, right? So there's so if we think that we are rats, if we think we are fleas, if we think we're middle class, lower class, if we think that we're not so smart, we're not so artistic, creative, courageous, whatever it is, if we think that about ourselves, my argument is fake it till you make it. Saying that you don't have enough time means that you don't have enough time. Saying that you are not utilizing your time as efficiently as you can gives you space to grow. For instance, a goal that I set for myself is I want to be powerful. What does that mean? A powerful could be me making salmon. That's a powerful thing, right? I can make food for myself, I can sustain, I can make my mom happy, sure, right? But what is power? To me, power is an uplifting concept, essentially something that's limitless. So for me to say that one of my goals is to understand power and to accrue power, that is a goal that could last my entire life. It's something that's a journey in itself. It's a concept. It's a philosophy. So this is my exit from the rat race, essentially. To say to ourselves, A, that we are what we want to be. That is the first step. That is going to be the the momentum that will set us forward in utilizing our time more efficiently. And B, putting together the philosophies, the necessary insight to actually go and do these things by setting a goal that is not tangible. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's stupid. How am I supposed to measure whether or not I'm successful or not? Ideally, you have more than one goal in life, and you probably do. You probably have the luxury of setting those goals, because everyone does. But I would argue that some of these goals should be intangible. Some of these goals should be feelings. They should be almost a state of mind to aspire for. And the reason is that it gives us infinite potential. It gives us the ability to constantly expand our philosophies of ourselves, our understanding of ourselves, our understanding of the world, and also our value to our society. Last thing I'll say is I came across an Instagram post where I get most of my motivation these days, besides other stuff. Grant Cardone was talking to, I think he's kind of going out of his way now to speak to younger people and continue to inspire them as a legacy thing. Cheers, Uncle G. I appreciate you. But he said, when asked about his daughter, his young daughter, are you going to be pissed if she doesn't make money? Or something about happiness or whatever. And he said, I don't care about the money thing. I care about whether or not they are, well, Grant does care about the money thing. And I don't want to paraphrase for him or anything, but he was basically saying that I want to make my daughter, my children, into people that are productive members of society. Because his philosophy is that being a productive member of society actually makes you a happy person. And that's kind of what I'm saying, right? So the rat race is actually a philosophy that your work isn't supposed to be fun, that productivity is something that's imposed upon you. Whereas getting out of the rat race, getting out of the matrix, whatever it is, actually just entails us flipping that on its head and saying, No, being productive is actually a gift. Food for thought. If you made it to this point of the video, please smash that like button. I'm trying to grow, as you may be able to tell. And throw me a comment. In this rat race life, what is it that you could aspire for? What is a goal that is intangible that will keep you moving and motivated? And while you're at it, check out this video right here. This will inspire you further, my friend. Hopefully some food for thought. Actualize your potential. This world needs you. Take care.